this flower is a bit different. Like, it's just mental though, isn't it? That they're both like different groups and they're super different. I think that's like everything out of it, like, even feels are different. But I think
I was chatting with Peach about like buying a calibrated kit, and like you go, it's got 70% so who the hell needs it? It's not matter. Stay warm, but you want to get back to live stream. No, we have a live stream.
Annie earlier was like, I saw you on the live stream. I was like, oh no. I'm trying to get behind that.
7 lifters, 7 lags. What?
Yeah, ABC.
No, 8 was the smallest. Yeah, sorry.
We'll test it when the first one comes on. I don't know what that is. I think that means it's ready.
There's no break between you. Okay. I think it's under 6 lifters. I think the maximum you can have on 5.
Bars loaded.
Hello guys, welcome back. To kick off the 74 kilos, we have Kieran opening up with 177.5. And that was quick. 10 kilos under his PB, setting himself up nicely for a second attempt. Now we have a little change in the commentary now. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yes, my name's Alex Pearson-Jones. We are now covering the 74. There are 19 lifters across these 2 flights, which is very different from the previous group. It should be good.
We've got John Bermudez, brother of Robin Bermudez, who just competed, coming in at the 74s, opening with 185.
Absolutely sinks it.
Makes it look easy. Great opening attempt there for John. Now we have George Sando coming with a 190. This is going to be a very exciting weight class to watch. So many amazing lifters here today. One of the bigger flights across the weekend. And he absolutely sinks that. Great first attempt from George there. Solid stuff. 190 kilos. And then, now, I think I'm going to abbreviate this and say Ovi. Ovi going for 210 kilos for his opener, which is 5 kilos underneath his personal best. Not too shabby to open on.
I mean, some lifters definitely don't share all their lifting on social media, especially coming in some of these bigger competitions. So it's very possible that maybe he's lifted heavier than this in the gym or in his prep.
Of course. We're going off comp totals.
Oh, okay. You got open powerlifting data all here.
Yeah. So we're going off comp totals here. That being said, we seem we have a little delay in him running out. 28 seconds left. And he's made it just in time. Plenty of time still left to get this lifted. He's got it up just in time. Unfortunately, didn't sink it as much as he was needed. Maybe kind of got a bit off guard with having to rush it. It's okay. He still has 2 attempts left. Now we move on to Matthew, opening with the same weight on the bar. With the belt backwards. Interesting.
With that big buckle, sometimes lifters like to sort of shift it around just to be a little bit more comfortable when they do sort of fold forward a little bit in their squat, and you don't get quite as much kind of pinch.
Yeah.
But you don't often see it.
Very solid unrock there. And he drives it up, and it's technically absolutely great there from Matthew.
It's a great opening lift. So with this first flight of lifters here that we have, so these 10 lifters, they are the 10 lower nominated totals coming in. So the total that the lifter nominated into the British Championships. It's not always the case that the lifter nominates the biggest total. Maybe they just qualified to get here. So we might very well see some bigger totals in this flight across the whole of the 74, especially towards the tail end here with some big opens.
He's coming in 2.5 kilos under his comp PB for his opener. And it's moved amazing. Exactly like an opener should move. Great stuff from Adam there.
So Sam was a bit of a dark horse coming in here. A few people like Sam to be placing pretty high across this whole 74 flight. So big squat opener here at 240, I believe.
240. I've heard he might have been the lifter that. Am I wrong in saying that he competes in a different federation? He had competed in a different federation?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
The BDFPA, I believe.
Yeah. Which is why on open powerlifting, it's his comp PB is 200 kilos. So he's absolutely smashing that for a IPF comp PB. And he's looking strong. Hits the depth and gets it up with ease.
Really solid squat opener from Sam.
3 white lights. Great attempt there from Sam. Heading over to second attempts now. We have 185 on the bar. For Kieran. 2.5 kilos under his comp PB. And he sinks it. And that should give him great confidence going into the third. Ooh. I think he might have skipped a command there.
Please, we have 195 on the power levels. This is for John. John is followed by George. Barstow.
John Bermudez going for 195.
It's where a lot of lifters are really looking to build their total a little bit and potentially get themselves up to, the third attempt, which should be for most pretty challenging on the day, potentially going for PBs. It'd be really interesting to see how this round looks and see where people are looking. Some people do choose to sort of sandbag their squat a little bit. Maybe sometimes bigger deadlifters like to leave a little bit left in their squat.
And he sinks it and
Lovely
looks
squat.
great. 195. Moving with ease there for John. We know John's coming in with a big bench as well.
This will be for George.
And a great deadlift. Both technical lifters, him and his brother. Bar is loaded for George. 202.5 kilograms on the bar. Which is a matched comp PB. Depending on how he moves this. We'll see how his see what he can put on for the third attempt. Looks very solid on the walkout there. And again, he sinks it, and it's, again, dare I say it, mimicking the first attempt there. Lovely stuff there from George. Definitely in for a PB squat today. And now we move on to Ovi. Hopefully he doesn't miss his time. And bar is loaded. And we are still waiting on Ovi. He's here, giving himself plenty of time. 210 kilograms on the bar.
So last time this one looked, well, the referees highlighted depth why he missed, so it'd be really interesting to see if he's able to sink this one a little bit lower now and get some white lights.
He looks comfortable. He's got this. And he sinks it lower. And it goes up with the same speed. And that's what we needed. 3 white lights. Great stuff from Ovi there. Good comeback. We now have Matthew coming in with 220 kilos. Very technical squatter. First attempt moving very, very easy. That unrack with intent. And it moves with speed. Let's see what the referees say. 3 white lights. Great stuff from Matthew there. And now we have Adam coming in with 222.5 kilograms. 7.5 kilogram PR for Adam on the platform. Can't wait to see him crush this. First attempt moving very, very nicely. He's taking his time. And he sinks it. Unfortunately,
Good catch
Didn't
there
s-
from the bars and loaders.
didn't seem to be able to get it out the hole there. But you know what?
Bar rolling a little bit, or the bar moved up his back, just a touch. As he came out the hole.
It's always nice to see, you do get a minute on the platform, and I feel like some people don't actually take advantage of it, of the time there. But just remember, when you're competing, you always you have a minute on the platform. Enjoy yourself. Take your time.
Big jump here from Sam Dew. He's jumped 15 kilos from his opener.
Looking to make a big statement here. Sam Dew, 255 kilos. 15.5 kilograms under the British record.
And that may very well be challenged today as well with Dylan in the next fight.
And he drives it up. Solid second attempt there from Sam Dew. Plenty left in the tank there.
Really interested to see what he goes for on his third here and if he wants to try and challenge that.
Kieran will be followed by John and then George. Group C, beware, you're on the last round.
This is the final round of squats now.
Bravo!
Third attempts for these guys. You might see a lot more pushing into PBs if they haven't already.
We have Kieran coming in with 185. Tries.
What a fantastic effort after the head referee adjusting his start position.
Great stuff there from Kieran.
So what happened there, why the head ref held him up in the ring is his torso position was a little too far inclined. And you basically have to be stood upright at the start of the squat for the head referee or the side referees to give you a commencement tip for the squat.
We now have John Bermudez going in for 200 kilograms for his third attempt squat.
His second looked fantastic, so let's hope that he can make this one.
Really dialing it in here is John. Absolutely fantastic lifter. Very experienced. All lifts looking pretty much identical. Taking his time. And he drives it up. And it seems to be a pattern here with the Bermudez family. All the third attempts moving like openers. Absolutely great third attempt squat there by John. It seems Ben Pape's been feeding them something. And we have George Sandhu going for a 207.5 kilogram squat, a 5 kilogram comp PB squat for him. You really do love to see it. He's been sinking he's sank the first two. And he's driving. And he's pushing. I still haven't got. Great third attempt from George there. And now we have Ovi going for 220 kilograms, which is a 5 kilogram PR on the platform. Very, very, very composed lifter. He sinks it and he's driving.
Close one there. Really good fight.
Just a tad too heavy on the third attempt. Unlucky. Still 6 lifts to go for the rest of the day to make up that total. Now going on to Adam to reattempt 222.5. which when he gets is a 7.5 kilo comp PB for him. He's determined, he's fired up, he knows he wants it, it's his for the taking. Let's go, Adam. He's unracked that with intent. He wants this weight. Tight brace there. He sinks it and he drives. He's driving. Just got caught there. Just a tad.
Fantastic work there.
Great effort. One thing he can say is he put his heart out in all 3 attempts there. We move on to Matthew, going for a 230 kilo squat. Bar is loaded for Matthew. Very technical lifter. First 2 attempts moving pretty much identical. I can't see him hitting any turbulence on this third one.
His last couple have moved really well. So let's hope he can go clean sweep here and get his third.
Yeah, just build some nice momentum going into bench. As a lifter, you always do feel like after your first attempt squats, you kind of can judge how the day is going to go. And after your third attempt squats, you just if you go 3 for 3, build that momentum going into bench. And he drives it, and he's pushing. Just about gets caught there with the weight.
It was really close, that one there.
Unlucky there.
Great fight. Really good fight.
260 on the card. This will be 4 sets. The last
We have the last squat to close out the first flight for the 74s. Sam Dew with 260 kilograms.
He seems to be playing it pretty sensibly. 5 kilo jump from his previous second attempt. Be really interested to see what happens here.
Looking to instill a little bit of fear in the boys in the other flight.
Maybe he, like I mentioned earlier, he did nominate a total that was probably something less than what he's actually capable of, but we'll really see now what he's really got left in the squat.
He sinks it and he tries. He just gets caught there.
Of the bar being loaded for the platform crew to get the squat command that you just heard Adam Riley give Hugo.
Tries up. Great opener there from Hugo. That was actually Hugo opening with his comp PB.
Look at that. Go for it, Hugo. That's wicked. We now have Seb lifting.
Seb opening 2.5 kilos under his comp PB. A very shredded man indeed.
I could be wrong here, but I think Seb may very well have moved down a weight class from the 83s to the 74s.
And rumour has it, he might be moving another one down.
Oh my goodness.
So we'll see what performance he can put out today. A very, very strong bencher and strong deadlifter. And that just proves his squat is no less. That's 2.5 kilos under his comp PB for his opener.
His nominated bench is currently 167.5, which is by the way above most other openers. I think the next highest here is a 160 from Sam Dew in the other flight.
We now have Rob with 205 for his first attempt. he drives it, and that was... I think he forgot that he needed to leave the warm-ups in the warm-up room.
2 o'clock remains on the bar only. This will be 4B.
I think you need to... We now have Lee Harris.
He's done in the GBR singlet here.
It's always nice when you see someone repping out the GB singlet. And that was a great, great, great first attempt.
And he gets it 2-1. The head referee there calling it from the front by depth by looks of things.
Steve will be followed by Amari Barsley.
Steve Tyers here, long-term British powerlifting, well, a bit of a legend, bit of a quiet legend really. Really, really looking forward to seeing how Steve does here today.
210 kilograms to open. Open his comp total for today. It's a very Owen Hubbard approach to the bar.
Yeah, they've been training partners for a long, long time now. Very emotional lifter.
Lovely to see. Everyone's got their own style. And he drives it absolutely clean there from Steve. 3 white lights. Great opener. A lot of confidence going into a second there.
He's been handled by his coach Owen, who actually just lifted in the 83s earlier this morning.
We now have Amari with 225 kilograms on the bar. Very, very, very solid opening squat here. It'll be interesting to see what he can build up to for his third. And he was up like a piston there. Absolutely rapid there from Amari. And now we move on to the well-awaited battle between the junior Christian and Dylan Nelson. We have Christian here with a 235 squat. He recently won junior nationals with a 683 total, being the squat and the total record for the juniors last October.
Very confident walkout here. Fantastic speed on that opening lift there. Looking really, really confident.
That was insanely quick by Krish there. And now the well-awaited squat. Dylan Nelson, Mr. Swole Shady himself.
So Dylan's pretty well known across British powerlifting, but coming into this, he decided to run the Squallow Smart program back to back. So we ran it 2 cycles, one after the other, which is a very, very kind of high volume, high intensity squatting program where you squat 4 times a week. It'll be really, really interesting to see, what the squat looks like here. Having spoken to Julia, who's handling Dylan today, he's had a little bit of knee issues kind of come into this, so it'll be really, really interesting to see what his top end actually is.
Looking to open 10.5 kilograms under the British record. 260 kilograms on the bar for his opener. And it just moved. An RPE 6. Look at that. Great stuff from Dylan Nelson there.
Doesn't look like he's got too many knee problems right now. But
Looking to
we'll see.
absolutely crush the squat British record in the, dare I say it, in his second attempt.
Maybe. I mean, he was originally planning to open at 271, and he dropped that down. So, you know, we'll see. He definitely looks very, very strong today.
As we move on to second attempts. Hugo with a 7.5 kilogram comp PR on his second attempt. We love to see it. Looking to build great momentum into bench press. Let's go, Hugo.
This is a 7.5 kilo jump from his opening lift.
And he drives it. And the judges liked it. 3 white lights. Dare I say it was as quick as his opener there. Lovely stuff from Hugo.
Followed by Lee, Rob and Steve.
We now have Seb going for a 210 kilogram squat, which is 7.5 kilograms over his first attempt, and a 5 kilogram PB for him on his second attempt. Very, very strong on the unrack. And he sinks it and it's going up. And he fights it up. What a great fight there. And the judges like it. 3 white lights for Seb there. Great, great stuff there for him, from him.
It'll be really interesting to see what the jump is there, if it was just a bit of a misgroove or whether or not he kind of feels like he's kind of close to his limit.
He's a very, very experienced lifter. And I'm sure he'll take a wise decision for his third. We now have Lee Harris coming in with 212.5. This is 5 kilograms under his comp PB.
I stand corrected about the comment I made earlier about Seb being one of the the best bencher in the flight. It looks like Lee is opening on a 175 bench press, so he may very well have gotten that GBR singlet from internationally competing for the bench for Great Britain.
There's 3 white lights for Lee Harris there. Great stuff there.
Rob is followed by Steve and Mark. Mark.
215 for Rob.
It was a 10 kilo jump from his opening lift. Looking confident on this walkout here.
5 kilograms under his comp PB. He drives and just a tad too heavy there.
Fantastic work for the spot crew there. Really, really good job, guys.
They've not let us down at all today.
Some very, very experienced boys on the Spartan loading crew today, with Chris and Mike out there being the anchors of that Spartan loading crew.
Absolutely killing it. Now we move on to Steve. Coming in with 227.5.
And actually quite a big jump here from his first to his second. He's jumped 17 kilos.
17.5 kilos there for Steve.
500 pounds, in fact.
The big 500.
Come on then, Steve.
Bringing a lot of emotion here for his second attempt.
you can't help but want to see these guys succeed. You know, when they put their heart and soul out on the platform like this.
Very, very strong unrack there. And he sinks it and he drives. Great stuff there from Steve. 2-1. Good to get the lift.
So Amari here with his second attempt, he absolutely blew up his opener. Doing very, very fast. So
10
kilo
kilos.
jump should be comfortable for him here.
Should be very comfortable, to be honest. Very, very serious, like very, very dialed in lifter. And he drives it. And that was easier than his first attempt. Up like a piston. So quick there.
Now, it's probably worth saying that not all lifters can really grind out reps. Sometimes, you know, the lift will go really, really fast or it won't go at all. And he may very well be one of those lifters. It'll be really, really interesting to see what his third attempt is and what it looked like.
We now have the junior 74 British champion coming in to make an impact in the seniors with a 2:47.5 second attempt.
It's a good brace here.
And he drives it.
Fantastic confidence there. Really, really good way to put momentum in the second lift.
Every time I see Krish lifting hits, it's just the same speed. It's always speed. We should call him Lightning McQueen. Now, something very interesting. We have Dylan Nelson going to attempt to break his own squat British record, which stands at 270.5 by 2.5 kilograms. Very, very, very hyped lifter.
So you're allowed to chip by 0.5 kilo anything over the British record. However, when it comes to competitive powerlifting and building a total, a chip above the next 2.5 is often the most advantageous chip to take, as it were. So the difference between Dylan squatting 270.5 or 271 is basically the same as him squatting 272.5. So he's decided to take 273 to contribute to the total if anyone's trying to catch him on the total today.
The energy in the room is insane.
And he really blew up his first, so hopefully we can see a nice successful second here.
He really, really wants this. Dylan Nelson, 273 kilograms on the bar. British record. And he makes it look easy.
Wow.
Great stuff from Dylan Nelson there.
3 white lights for Dylan Nelson there.
Setting himself up for a great third attempt.
Really, really good. So what we're likely to see from Dylan here is, instead of him, say, jumping to 280, he's more likely to take something like 280.5 or 283, again, to maintain that advantage.
He's really going to take advantage of his squats leading into bench and deadlifts, with historically being a very, very, very good squatter. And with that, we now move into third attempts. We have Hugo going for 195.
So it's another 7.5 kilo jump for Hugo, so we're really, really hoping he blows this one up. He was really, really confident on the unrack last time. Did really, really well. So
This will be a 15 kilogram comp PB.
Wow, that's a big
That
jump.
is amazing. You've got this, Hugo.
Makes
And
that-
he drives it. And he's got it.
What a fight.
Oh.
Wow.
What a great lift there from Hugo.
Let's see what
And
the
the
judges say.
referees say 3 white lights, 15 kilograms, PR for Hugo. Great stuff. Absolutely great stuff there.
It's so fantastic just to see the overall standard of lifting and the totals improve so much year on year in British powerlifting. It's been really, really exceptional, especially in the last few years.
We now have Seb going for 212.5, which is a 2.5 kilogram. 2.5 kilograms up from his second attempt. His second attempt had a bit of a sticking point there, but we hope he can blow this third attempt out of the water. And he drives. Oh, very, very unlucky there from Seb.
Just a little bit too much for him today, but definitely got a good showing from his squat for 210 on his second.
He's still yet to come with his bench and his deadlift, so I'm sure he won't mind that 2.5 kilograms. Now we have Lee Harris coming in for 220 kilograms for his third attempt. A 2.5 kilogram comp PB if he gets this. Bringing a lot more aggression to the bar.
He gets it set. Nice confident walkout.
And he drives, and he's
Very quick out the hole there, Lee.
very, very unlucky. It's always nice to see that no matter what, people are always wanting more and always striving to push themselves, because that's what comps are for. We now have Steve coming in with 235 kilograms, which I believe is 7.5 kilograms from his second attempt.
The way his second moved, it definitely seems like the right decision here. Let's see what he's got for Steve.
He's bringing it
definitely
now
grind.
for this third attempt.
Steve can definitely grind. He's been able to stay under a bar for a very long time, as long as I've known him. Let's see what he has here.
You can just see it, how much this means to him. And he's driving it, he's getting it. Let's see what the judges say. 2-1.
So his coach has just come over to the jury table to argue basically when there's a 2-1 in favour of 2 reds to 1 white light. You can go to the jury and see what their opinion is and whether or not they're possibly able to overturn it. That isn't the case if it's 3 reds.
We now have Amari with another 10 kilo jump from his second attempt.
Seems confident. Fantastic work
Great
there
third
from
attempt from Amari there. Still a lot left in the tank there. And this will give him great momentum going into bench and deads. All 3 attempts looking identical. Great stuff from Amari there.
We've
And
seen a
now-
12 kilo jump from Christian here. So his second moved fantastically well. Is this a little bit underneath his British record from juniors?
Yes, I believe this is 3 kilos under his British record. However, I have no doubt he will move this with speed. Absolutely phenomenal lifter is Christian. And drives it. Unlucky there.
Again, great catch for the spots and loaded. Shout out to those guys. Okay, so another British record attempt here from Dylan Nelson. 280.5.
Dylan Nelson looking to set the standard in the 74 kilo class today with his 280.5 kilogram squat attempt.
So if you guys follow Dylan at all on social media, he has put up some absolutely ginormous lifts in training. He does have to cut a little bit of weight to make it to the 74s, but he's definitely familiar with this sort of weight, and we've definitely seen it move before on his back.
Looking to absolutely destroy the squat record by 10 kilograms. His own squat record, by the way.
Let's go, Dylan. Let's see this.
Mr. Swole Shady himself bringing all the energy to the platform. The electricity right now. This man loves the fight.
His last two moves with some fantastic speed. So we're just going to see what he's got left in here.
Really, really getting the crowd going.
Let's go, Dylan.
He's leaving it all on the platform today. And he's confident. And he drives it up. That's 280.5 kilograms as a 74 for a new British squat record. Great stuff from Dylan there. Great stuff from Dylan there. What a squat. What a way to close the flight. What a way to close the flight. Great stuff there.
What a fantastic showing there from Dylan and all of the guys in the 74s. It's a tremendous standard. We need to look at this, don't we now? Yeah, we're just going to summarise it, right? Talk about what's going on.
Yeah. So guys, very, very, very interesting squat session for the 74s today. Christian just missing that third there. But we all know he can come in strong with his bench and deadlifts as well. But what a squat by Dylan Nelson there. Absolutely amazing. Perfect squat third attempt there to absolutely obliterate his own squat British record by 10 kilos. And yeah, the standings now are looking, if we go based on subtotal at the moment, it seems that Sam, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. It's come up with the, it seems to be we have Seb with a subtotal of 262 in the lead, and then Dylan Nelson with 260, and third place will be Amari. That is based on subtotal at the moment.
So that's in this given flight. Is this the top one here?
Yep.
Sorry, we've got some technical issues in terms of reading the score sheet.
Yeah, sorry about this, guys. We'll try and improve it for the bench and deadlifts, but yeah, great performance from people across the board. Not many people failing thirds, which is always lovely to see. A lot of comp PBs for everyone, and hopefully we can get a better idea, a better estimate when we're going into bench and deadlifts, because the battle will be there for the final pull, as we saw in the morning session today as well. The last pulls are going to be the ones that decide. So stick around and we'll see you guys in the next 15 to 20 minutes.
Anybody seen Kitty?
You want to move around there, Keith?
Okay.
You can see.
We are when they call the weight.
Since the referee's settled, we're talking about. Please can we have 117.5 kilos on the line?
Loading.
Bar is loaded. This will be for George. George will be followed by Alan and Kieran.
And we are back with George Sando opening with 117.5 kilos for his 74 kilo class. This is group A. And that moved quite well. 3 white lights.
We definitely do have some big benches in this flight. And it'd be really interesting towards the end here where we start to see the subtotal and kind of what that looks like in relation to the guys in the other flight as well. So Adam Hamilton setting up here. 120 on the bar.
What a lovely arch for a setup. Easy bench. Look fine. Referees giving it 3 white lights.
A solid opener there from Adam.
Kieran is followed by Owen, Matthew, John and Simon.
Bar is loaded for Kieran. He was recently at Super Training as well. This is the meet he qualified for. Gets the start.
Very
Lovely
controlled
pass.
lift there.
Very, very easy. I think we're looking at some really nice openers today from this.
We have 130 on the bar levels. This will be for Owen.
Here he comes, just a little late, but he's got 45 seconds on the clock.
So looking to lock in a subtotal here with their openers.
Yeah. Very nice handout.
Solid opener there.
Yeah.
A little bit of a dynamic pause position.
Yeah. With your openers, you just really want to secure just something nice, just keep going. Second and third is where you're going to start pushing.
All right, Matthew coming out here.
Matthew opening quite large, 104 kilos, I think.
So it's a really, really solid opener. I mean,
Yeah.
to think that a lot of these guys are getting pretty close to double body weight on their opening lift is pretty mad on the bench press.
It's quite scary. I really like his singlet.
The old school Titan
Yeah,
singlet
old
there.
school Titan. With the Titan socks as well.
He's elected to not have a handout here.
And that moved quite well. That
Really
moved
solid
well.
opener there.
Referee. 3 white lights.
All right, we've got John Benitez coming out now with a 150 opener. So over double body weight here for his opening bench press.
Bench specialists. My personal favorite kind of lifters. Come on, John. His younger brother just competed earlier in the flight. He's got to keep up. He's got to get that good total.
He's just going to take his time here with the setup. Really trying to push high up onto his traps. Really pushing to his neck.
Taking advantage of that Alico bench.
Let's get this hand out here from Mike King.
Looks very stable. Gets the start. Yes. Wow.
Lovely.
That
So
was really good.
really solid opener.
That was
John here's probably got the opposite style of the chap who I mentioned having a bit of a dynamic pause earlier in the flight. So you'll kind of see on a spectrum 2 distinct different styles of bench press. Kind of more like a soft touch here like John uses, or more of a kind of slightly heavier touch and using a little bit more leg drive as he comes out the bottom there.
Yeah. Now we've got Sam Dew. This man is very interesting. because he came in with a lower qualifying total, and it's actually totaled, like, his total is much higher from where he came from his previous Fed, BDFPA. So now he's making a return to the IPF, and so far he's doing really well.
Yeah, so touted as a bit of a dark horse for a few people, or from a few people in this flight. He could definitely cause a bit of an upset from the opposite group here, especially if his bench press continues to go well.
Yeah, for sure.
Very solid opener there.
Yeah, quite shaky at the top of the start, but worked really well coming up.
Alright, so we're back into the start of the flight now.
Yep, back on second attempts. Let's see what these lifters can do.
Seen, generally speaking, slightly smaller jumps between opening bench press and the second bench press, but that is not the case here. We're seeing a 7.5 kilo jump from opening left to second here.
Moved quite well.
Solid second attempt there.
Yeah, the 7.5 kilo jump must have had a bigger impact than you expect. I guess starting off light is good, but bigger jumps on bench isn't usually the best idea. However, that moved quite well. Got Adam now. He's made a 5 kilo jump. I'm always very for 5 kilo jumps for bench. Moved quite good. Quite shaky at the top.
Fantastic work from Adam there.
Yeah.
So bench press being a little bit different from the other two lifts, there are a fair few commands that a lifter needs to listen out for. They need to listen for a start command, that the 3 referees are all happy with the lifter's starting position, with their head, shoulders, and bum and feet all in contact with either the bench or the ground. Then they need to lower the bar down to their chest and hold the bar motionless at the chest, which is at the discretion of the head referee, and then get given the press command, and then they have to hold it until they get given a rack command and they demonstrate control at the top there.
Oh, that moved very good.
Very
slow.
consistent.
Yeah, quite slow for a second, but really just a slow bencher.
Again, we've seen a 7.5 kilo jump there for Kieran between his first and his second attempt. Ovi here with a 5 kilo jump from his last one. I think the technical officer here is found Ovi. He's just putting on his wrist wraps now.
He has 40 seconds, plenty of time. Just takes a while to set up on bench though. He's definitely looking quite nervous. Not much time. Let's see if he can get set up quick enough. He needs to get the start just in 20 seconds. Within 20 seconds, he needs to get the start. Come on. Come on, Ovi.
Here we go.
10 seconds to go.
Looks secure.
Gets the start.
Very strong second attempt there from Ovi.
Yeah, very good despite whatever just happened. It took a while for him to come out. The pressure from the time as well.
You got Matthew here.
147.5 kilograms, 7.5 kilos from his first attempt. He's the guy with the really cool singlet. Let's see how this moves.
Again, a 7.5 kilo jump from his opener, so that'll be interesting. It's quite a large jump on bench, but these guys are pretty experienced at this level, especially. Normally they're putting numbers on the bar that they can almost definitely get for their second.
Looks quite stable. I think he's got this. Oh. Bit of a fight. Come on. Yeah, he gets it.
Fantastic work from Matthew there. And 3 white lights from the judges.
But what would he do for his third? That was quite rough. I think maybe he'll settle for 150 as his third. I think that would be a smart call.
Sometimes these they genuinely misgroove in quotation marks. Sometimes I know that's a bit of a meme on the internet. Sometimes it truly is a competition, and they do know that they have more if they can kind of stroke it well.
Yeah.
But also you have to only really go off of the lift that's just happened. So you would think that the logical jump here is a 2.5 for his next one.
Yeah. He's put on 150. It makes sense to take into account, even if it is a misgroove. 150, you think, can move really nicely if he sets up properly, gets everything in check. We now have John 155 kilograms, a nice 5 kilogram jump, taking full advantage of that Alico bench, my personal favorite bench to use as well when it comes to benching.
Fantastic bench press
Wow.
there from John.
Wow.
That was probably better than his opener.
Yeah.
I know I feel like I've said that a few times today, but I do feel like that was a very, very nice bench press there.
That was really good. Ooh, this is very interesting. Sam Dew with 170 kilograms.
So a 10 kilo jump from his opening lift. Again, it's an aggressive approach, but where Sam is in terms of trying to push as much as he can this subtotal to potentially be as competitive as possible later on in the day.
Yeah.
I feel like this is where Sam will make up ground on the guys that are slightly bigger deadlifters than him, at least off of their nominated opener as we see it at the moment.
Yeah. Issue is he's put at quite a disadvantage being in the other group. But let's see him put up a big total regardless. I think he'll be able to do it next seniors, try and fight for a podium, or he could just try here. He's setting up very nicely. Oh, that just I think he slipped a bit, I'm not sure.
So a very kind of dynamic, like he has a relatively heavy touch, lets the bar kind of sink into his chest a little bit more. So oftentimes with lifters like that, you see a slightly more kind of leg drive type of strategy. The only issue sometimes is it can be a little bit less consistent. If you can't get good grip on the floor, if you get a longer call than usual, those sorts of things can really play with how well you perform on the day. And it was a big jump there from Sam.
Yeah, he puts himself quite at risk now. I think he should have taken 165, then gone for the 170. But he's put in this dilemma now where he has to get 170, and it's looking difficult. The pressure's on.
So George with his third bench press here, 127.5. Wonderful from George there, really good stuff.
Very good. We now have Adam coming in, 130 kilograms. This man has taken 5 kilo increments in all his attempts. I think he gets this one very easily.
He looks super smooth on his last, so let's hope that he
Very
can
confident.
deliver.
Very nice smile as well.
He's wiggling into position here.
Yeah. Well, a bit of a shaky press. He does not get that, unfortunately.
He just looked a tiny bit less stable than he did in this last one. That lockout position looked a little bit rough for him there.
For sure, for sure. Right, it's loaded for Kieran.
Okay, 2.5 extra here for Kieran. He's just gone from 132.5 to 135. Just trying to eke out those extra 2.5 kilos on that subtotal and hopefully the total.
I like his wrist wraps. Very good controlled descent. Can he get it all the way up? Oh, and he doesn't, unfortunately, this time. Unlucky.
132 is all we'll leave with today on the bench press. So we've got another 5 kilo jump here from Ovi. And his last one looked very, very strong.
5 kilos as well. 5 kilos can sometimes feel so heavy on bench. 5 additional kilos, sometimes 2.5. It can just make such a massive difference, especially under the bar. On top of this pressure as well at, national level. Let's see what Ovi does. Will he crumble? Will he get it up? Setup looks solid.
He's been held here for some reason. Maybe the head referee's not happy with his elbow position.
Oh, wow.
And despite that, absolutely smashes that bench press.
Very strong bench right there.
So with the refereeing situation and why Ovi was held for such a long time is all 3 referees need to be happy with the commencement of the start position. So the arms need to be locked and all the other things that I mentioned earlier on. And one of the side referees wasn't happy with Ovi's start position. So until the head referee can technically overrule it and start the bench press without it, if one of the side referees has signaled that the start position is okay, then the head referee can overrule it, but often they will wait until the other side referee is happy. And if it carries on, sometimes they even ask them to re-rack the bar and set up again. So if you've seen that, and obviously you can't see the side referees here, that's basically why Ovi was held for a long time, as one of the side referees wasn't happy with the start position for whatever reason. And that's why he was held for such a long time. A little bit unfortunate. It looked okay from here, but also we're not in the referee's chair, so we can't make those calls from where we are.
Might have been soft elbows.
So we have Matthew here setting up. He's gone 2.5 kilos up from his last one. He'll be followed by John and then by Sam.
Just not there today, but that's okay.
Now we've got the last couple of big benches on this flight, and then we're going to go into the next group. So we've got 160 on the bar for John coming up here, which should be really, really good. I mean, his last attempt looked fantastic, so it'll be really, really interesting to see.
Yeah, it should be super, super easy for John here.
Very, very technical bencher. Very, very soft touch. Very, very big arch. So if he, sometimes those guys can look fantastic until they just can't press it anymore.
Yeah.
But you've got to think that John here this is the right call based off of the last one for sure.
Yeah, it's all in the descent towards the chest. If you can get that bar to be still on your chest as quick as possible, you get that press command much quicker.
And let's see if Sam after this one can get the 170 to really challenge the guys in the other flight. John gets up here, looks nice and stable.
Yeah, looks pretty good. Gets a start.
Whoa, fantastic. Look at that.
This man should have opened with his third.
Oh my goodness. He got better every single round there. He got better and better. We're loading 170 now for Sam. So big jump from his opening lift at 160, 170. It just maybe looked like he slipped on his leg drive on the last one or something. We're not really sure what happened there. Sam Dew on his way out now. Benching 170 as a 74 is massive.
Yeah, for sure. His second didn't look too good. Maybe this time he clutches it.
Sam.
Looks like it's a lot of. Looks like he's using a lot of tightness coming to the bottom. That's why the bar kind of just drops onto his chest. We are now moving on to Group C.
So looking at the forecast score here, definitely puts Sam Dew in amongst it with the guys in the Group C. He's right up there with some of the other lifters. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But I believe, just scanning the sheet here, Sam Dew is actually in second place based off of forecast score, 6:55, with Dylan is the only one who's in front of him with 6:75 at the moment, and that's based off of the bench press openers as it stands in Group C and their total from their opening deadlift and their completed now squat. So it doesn't give us a full idea, but it kind of gives us a rough idea of roughly where these guys are going to end up and how much scope they have to kind of continue to improve.
First lifter of Group C, we have Amari here, opening with 130 kilograms. Let's see how well this moves.
Amari absolutely smashed his squats earlier. He's looking fantastic.
He did. All of his squats moved, very, very easy. Let's see how his benches go. I think his benches are looking the same. I think they're all going to be very easy.
Looked very fast. It'd be interesting to see if it looked like his bum maybe moved a little bit there on the leg drive.
I think the refs had a better view on it, so I think they're giving it quite live from the camera. Even I thought like it moved a bit.
We've got Hugo here. Had a big PB on his squats. I think it was a 15 kilo competition PB.
Wow. Looks quite shaky here, but managed to stabilize. I think the ref is going to be much harsher on his second attempt with this press because it looked quite shaky. What do you think?
It's a tough one to call, really. The side referee there, I think, maybe gave him a red light because of he actually lifted his hips after he got given the start command and then put them back down, which technically is a failure of the lift, even though it wouldn't have really affected anything. Once you've been given the start command, your bum can't leave the bench. So I think that may be of why that light was like that.
Yeah, we've got Dylan now, just come off probably the biggest squat I've seen in a while, and now he's here benching. I wonder how much that squat has drained him, and will he be able to carry on with good numbers for the rest of the day? So far, 135 as an opener, looking very good. Let's see how it goes. Gets the stuff. That looks very solid.
Looking very strong there, Dylan.
Very, very solid.
I spoke to Dylan in the warm-up area between the squat and the bench presses, and he was saying when he came off on the platform after his third, he was struggling a little bit with just like the rehydration after doing a bit of a weight cut to come in here. He was sort of struggling with basically just all the food and all the water that he had taken on board and how it was kind of making him feel. He just felt a bit sick, really.
Yeah.
Which is not surprising.
It tends to happen.
And especially when you've got that sort of weight on your back, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
Rob with a closer grip here, you don't normally see that.
Yeah.
Very solid press there. Steve's coming out here with a 140 opening lift. Again, just the standard of lifting in general. These bench presses almost all getting close to double body weight now for the 74 kilo class is crazy.
Yeah. He's being handled by Owen Hubbard, who just came off the platform. stable. That was rapid.
Very strong there from Steve.
That was
Pretty aggressive on the descent.
Yeah,
But
very
the pause was fantastic.
very, like, overall, the control from that speed coming down was impressive.
We got Krishan coming out now. Did very, very well on his first 2 opening squats. Wasn't quite there on his 255, but from everything that I've heard about this chap, he's quite the bencher as well, and quite the deadlifter. So
Yeah, it's
we'll
his
see how he
first
does.
year as a senior lifter. Looking very interesting. He just came out of juniors, winning the title of junior 74 kilos, and now here he is as a senior. His debut begins. Very easy.
Very, very solid opener there.
That looks like a second final.
Now we've got some big benches here. We've got a 167.5 kilo opener. This is from Seb.
I've heard Seb is looking to cut down to 66s. What do you think on that?
There's a lot of him already, even at
Yeah.
74. So and he's already very lean. So it'd be really, really interesting. From what I understand, he came down from the 83s as well.
Yeah.
Dylan's done the same thing actually. As Dylan left the junior class, he cut down to 74s as a senior. I think it's possible that he could do it. I don't know where it's going to come from. You know, the guy's not exactly carrying a lot of body fat. Looks super lean. He's relatively tall for the 74s already.
Yeah.
But you know, he knows himself better than anyone else does. So
That
maybe.
is so good.
He has some fantastic height there through his arc. Really, really impressive.
Very, very good. That moved very well as well.
And now we've got a 175 kilogram opener from Lee Harris. Now, I believe Lee's represented Great Britain for bench only before. That's where he's got that singlet from. And you can see why. 175 kilos as an opening bench for a 74 kilo lifter is very, very impressive.
I think this will be just fine. I think he knows what he's doing. Looks quite shaky at the top, but that moves really well.
Very, very strong.
Very, very good.
So we're back to the start of the flight now with Hugo. So in the last round, as he took a breath, he re-lifted his hips. It'd be interesting to see if he does that again here. Solid press from Hugo.
I think his comp
3 white lights.
His comp is about 132.5 kilos. So that's 2.5 fat.
Yeah, definitely.
We're now looking at Amari with his second attempt. Very easy.
Amari killing the second again. A 10 kilo jump here, you don't normally see that on bench press. And really, really well executed.
Very successful. 10 kilo back jump. Dylan coming in matching his comp PB for his second. Let's see how well this moves.
His opener moved very, very well. So we'll see how this goes. 7.5 kilo jump.
I think the chalk flying everywhere and it looks very aesthetic.
himself set here. Good. Looking really strong.
Yeah.
I definitely think if Dylan can keep going, he's definitely going to be the one to catch in this fight.
Yeah. What do you think his next step would be? I think 145 is a safe call. 147 is definitely a good push. 150, it's something worth considering, but just you kind of got to keep it in pocket when it comes to bench. You want to keep a lot of energy for deadlifts.
With the position that Dylan's in right now on his total, it probably makes sense to play it relatively safely.
Yeah.
He's far enough away that he should just look to just chip away at the total and just make every 2.5 kilo jump to keep spacing himself away. I mean, we never know what might happen on a deadlift, but as it stands right now, in terms of competitive powerlifting, it just makes sense for him to just put the right weight on the bar and make sure that he can make the lift.
Yeah, for sure.
Instead of kind of reaching a little bit hard and giving up 5 kilos to a competitor potentially. Fantastic work from Rob here. Really, really good stuff.
Rob matches his comp here as well. His comp bench. Seeing a lot of PBs today, comp PBs.
Steve Tyers here. Oh no, my fault. That was incorrect on the sheet. We've got Christian coming out. Oh no, it is Steve. It is Steve.
This is what Christian had benched back at juniors. We don't actually have Christian left. Why? We got Tom.
So Steve Tyers setting up here with 147.5. The live stream and the score sheet are just a little bit lagging. Whatever's going on here, we're not really sure. Sets up nice and high on his traps. Has that really aggressive descent, but a really nice controlled touch. Fantastic work there from Steve.
Wow. That was really, really quick. I think he can make a big jump for the start, securing a good final third bench.
So he jumped 7.5 in his opening lift. So we might very well see another 7.5, or maybe a 5.
Yeah. I think a 5 would make more sense. A 7.5 I could definitely see happening as well.
Okay, so now we have Christian coming out. 155. You were saying this is what he benched at
This
Junior Nationals?
Yeah, Junior Nationals is what he benched. He's going for it as a second attempt.
So Junior Nationals was the end of October last year, so it was about
Yes.
6 months ago, something
Yeah.
like that, 5-6 months ago.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see what his third is going to be. Very tight setup here. One of a kind, you notice people put their feet up a lot, his feet stay at the bottom. And that move, wow. That moved way too easy.
Again, we might see a 5, but maybe even a 7.5 here. If he's really trying to push that total and maybe ask questions of people on his deadlift, which, you know, he's quite a good deadlifter too. May very well find that some of these guys that are chasing that first place might be more tempted to push a little bit here, potentially.
Yeah. I think 160 is a good call for Christian.
Yeah, so Christian's entered 160 for his final bench attempt. We've got Seb here with 175 and that giant arch. Reminds me of Owen Hubbard a little bit with the face flattening out on the bench before he goes to arch. But just the height that this guy gets out of his rib cage is so impressive.
He almost looks like a bridge, like a real bridge. Oh, I just couldn't drive power properly from his left side. Let's hope he has it for his third. I think that was definitely a big jump.
We've got a 10 kilo jump here from Lee Harris from his opening 175 to 185. We know that he's a good bencher.
Yeah, I think certain lifters can get away with 10 kilo jumps, and Lee Harris is definitely one of them. It is also Lee's first year as a senior, so definitely a debut begins here. Already 185 on the bar for a press. And he gets it. Really, really good. Referees got the
3 white lights there for Lee.
I think 190 here or 187 is a good call. Any further, and like, get it. But when it comes to these bench specialists, you can never know. I have a feeling his third will move better than his second. plot is loaded for Hugo. We are now moving into third attempts.
Really interesting to see the full cast score briefly there. You can see how some of the guys in this group have, have definitely started to close that gap, and their total based off of the opening deadlift is really starting to come together now for a lot of these guys.
Yeah. Deadlifts is where the game is made.
Fighting with it.
Oh, a bit of downward movement. Oh, I thought maybe from the right side he would be okay. Maybe one red light at most, but just couldn't get it easy.
Amari coming out now with a 7.5. Oh no. Yeah, 7.5 kilo jump from his previous one. Moved really, really well on his second, so you would have thought this was a good call.
Just got to stay tight when it comes to the bench. Tightness is key. Tightness in the lats. Slow but really white lights. I think that moved really well for a stud. I think that's how most studs look.
The right call there, definitely the right call.
Definitely the right call. We're now seeing Dylan 150 kilograms.
So we were sort of saying 2.5 or maybe 5. Dylan's gone with a slightly more aggressive jump here, so
Not surprised.
He's an experienced lifter, but he definitely is a more aggressive when it comes to his attempt selection when he's left to his own devices.
Yeah.
Let's see it, Dylan.
I'm very interested to see how this moves. Let's see how well he knows himself here. How well he's able to execute such a massive jump from his second.
As Dylan gets set up here, he's going to look to be as efficient as possible with his bar path, touching the bar nice and softly on his chest and driving back towards the rack. Dylan's currently in the lead on subtotal.
Very stable here at the top. Gets the start. I definitely didn't expect that, especially after his huge score. No doubt the white lights down. I did not expect it to move that well.
If anyone's followed Dylan for a long time, it's not that often that he goes 6 for 6.
Yeah.
So that's a really good from Dylan to do that.
We now have Rob 152.5 kilos. I think this is a PB for Rob, a 5 kilo PB. Let's see it move.
What's particularly impressive about guys getting competition PBs here is they're lifted to the highest standard. All these are national level referees. Nothing's squeaking past anyone here. He's fighting with it.
Yeah, come on.
Just couldn't quite turn those elbows over and get back towards the rack.
He looks devastated. He definitely looks devastated. Okay, sometimes these things happen.
All right, we've got Steve Tyers up next. 152.5 on the bar for Steve. The second attempt looked fantastic.
Song choice couldn't have been better for this third attempt. I think the timing for that unrack was really good as well with the song. Yeah, come on, just needs to...
Definitely moved.
Yeah, definitely.
3 white lights there for Steve.
A bit of a sticking point, but he just got through it like it was nothing.
Christian here with 160. Definitely going to be in amongst it on the subtotal here. like we mentioned earlier, is definitely one to watch when it comes to podium spots for today.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're looking at Christian, we're looking at Dylan, and potentially Seb and Sam. What do you think?
I think that's probably the 4 that are really battling for it, and I think they're all capable of that top spot, depending on how the deadlifts shake out. Strategically, you'd normally favour the bigger deadlifters, or the guys that can really push the envelope there. So,
for sure,
if Seb gets his third bench, he's definitely going to be in amongst it, and he's definitely one of the bigger pullers in this group.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Christian there, really
good.
Really adding to it. 5 more kilos on the subtotal, and really putting himself in amongst it to actually be able to pull for position later on in the day.
It is unfortunate that Sam Dew has been put at disadvantage deadlifting first, so his position at podium might be just risk because of it.
So the issue with being in the group before is that you can't really play any of the kind of strategy games. You don't really know what's going to happen after you.
Yeah.
And the guys in the flight that are going will know what they need to beat you.
Yeah.
So you're at a bit of a strategic disadvantage there.
Yeah. But you set the mark for them. You set the mark of what they need to beat. It's almost you give them something to work towards.
Much better there from
Seb gets it this time. Definitely a technical error maybe on the second. His third move, tremendously better.
It definitely makes things interesting now. Seb being a big puller and with that big opener, definitely has potential to be doing things.
Yeah,
in this
definitely
last
add
round.
him to the list of battling for podium, especially after that bench.
We've got Lee here going for a British record of 190.5. First year as a senior, and he's going to be in amongst it with his bench record.
I see him holding the bench record for quite a few rounds. A lot of hype behind him.
He gets set here, lots of energy. Gets a good on that.
Looks very stable.
He's pushing. Putting his elbows under the bar. He's nearly there.
Wow.
And he did it.
What a battle.
Let's see if the rest think there's any downward movement.
Oh, that is unfortunate. He falls to the ground.
That is very unfortunate. So the blue light there is basically if the bar begins to move downwards and then comes upwards again. So theoretically there could be an advantage there if the bar's sinking and then coming back up again. It's very rare that we see it in bench press, but it's one of the rules. The bar can't move back down after it commences on the way up.
Yeah, we are now looking at deadlifts. My favorite. I mean, I say bench is my favorite, but deadlift is definitely my favorite to watch. Because deadlifts, you kind of see everything go down. Deadlifts is where the hype happens. You see the final attempt changes. You see all these pullers come out and, pull some huge numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some people say that the competition doesn't start until the bar hits the floor, and it's where we really start to see the totals start to shape up and shape out.
Yeah.
And some of these guys that maybe have been flying under the radar for a little bit while, for some of the competition, come out of nowhere and pull something massive to give themselves a chance.
I can definitely see someone coming out with a subtotal not as big, but coming out with a massive deadlift.
So who are we looking at now in terms of the subtotal, in terms of where positions and stuff are going to start to shake out? What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, we need to keep an eye on Dylan. Dylan last seniors had a problem with his deadlifts. I believe it was grip or maybe an injury of some sort. So we're definitely looking to see if Dylan is able to hold it down. His podium position could be challenged here. Christian, very strong deadlifter. Seb as well, a good deadlifter. Sam Dew, I really want to root for him, but just him being in the other group just puts him at such a massive disadvantage. He's unable to make those final deadlift calls, like how Dylan is able to, how Christian is able to, and how Seb is able to.
We're definitely going to see, hopefully, quite a battle in this next round, and we're going to see Dylan trying to keep that space from everybody else.
He just took our stuff.
He just took our score sheet.
We don't know what's going to happen anymore.
Oh, there we go. We've got the score sheet again. So, so yeah, if Sam Ju really pushes his deadlift and does really, really well, it's not uncommon that people enter in, you know, a lower opening attempt or change their opening attempt on deadlift.
Yeah.
So that could really, really shape the scene that we're seeing. But I think if Dylan is going to be looking at totaling over 700 here,
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty hard for anyone to challenge him if he gets 2 deadlifts in.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely keep an eye on the bottom 4 here of Group C. These guys are the ones with the big deadlifts, the ones able to change the game entirely.
Fast loaded.
Welcome back to deadlifts. We now are at Group C. Kieran opening up with 215 kilograms. Very interested to see what goes on here.
Good socks, really good socks.
I love the socks. Easy opener, looked fine. Very white lights.
Please, in ready on the bar loaders, this is for George. Bravo.
George here opening just 7.5 kilos underneath his competition PB.
Wow. Smashed it. That looks very good.
Please, we have 220 on the bar loaders. This will be for the next 2 lifters. First, John, followed by Obi. Bravo.
We've got John coming out here for his opening lift at 220 kilos.
Very impressive performance so far. Let's see if he can hold it down for his final 3 lifts of the day. You can see his brother in the back here in the live stream handling him.
Easy. Smooth opening lift there.
Now there's a good 3 right lines. Bars loaded, 220. This will be for Obi. Obi is followed by Matthew and Owen.
And there is definitely one 174 kilo lifter that isn't here this year, and he actually won last year, Alex Espin.
Yes.
So that's a bit of a shame because there could have been a 5-horse race here for the closing out in the podium spots.
Yeah, especially on deadlifts. Alex Espin being a big puller.
Really solid opener there from Obi.
Very good.
It's actually Obi's first year as a senior lifter as well. So
He actually was having a good time in the warm-ups. He was feeling quite sick. And to see him pull through the entire day just shows the mental strength that he has behind his lifting as well as physical strength. We have Matthew now, full plate opener.
we might see a big jump from Matthew after this. Matthew's competition PB is 262.5. Now obviously we don't know if he's maybe coming in injured or something like that, but if he was around there, he's going to have to take some pretty large jumps to be towards that number at the end of the day. Slightly narrow sumo stance here.
Yeah. I like to call it frog stance. Definitely looked quite slow for an opener, but who knows, this man might just be someone who deadlifts very slow. You do have pullers like that, just the bar moves at half a centimeter per second.
Still with the SBD out on backwards too. So
Yeah, that's very interesting. I believe it says the buckle doesn't get in the way of your hips, especially on squats, and then you kind of maybe just get used to it for deadlifts. With his stance being quite short, the buckle must definitely get in the way.
So Adam here opening on 227.5, 500 pounds. And it's actually 5 kilos off of his competition personal best. So you've got to think that if this goes well, he's going to be pulling into some new territory for him. And the way that looked, you would definitely think so.
Lockout. His lockout could have been speedier, in my opinion. His lockout definitely looked different for him. Let's see how he does on the second.
So we've got the dark horse here, Sam Dew. hopefully going to put in some good deadlifts.
Yeah.
Really trying to push into those podium spots. I don't know if we can get it. Can we get the score sheet back or no? Are you just going to put it on the end of the... no. It's
Very
too,
good
it's too
sound. So we're just approaching second deadlifts now. Quite a few fair jumps. Nothing massive that I can see other than what was just put in by Sam Dew.
So Sam Dew's jumping 20 kilos, so it's going to put his nominated total right in amongst it there with the rest of the guys.
Some big boys.
And actually give the other guys in the second group something to chase. That's if it goes well.
Yeah. We're back with Kieran.
Open moved well. Let's see what he's got in a second. This is equaling his competition best PB. Makes
Looks very consistent.
Smooth lift there.
Power of the colourful socks.
So it probably means that he's going to be nominating a PB attempt. Well, definitely nominating a PB attempt, competition-wise, for his next deadlift. We've got George here pulling 2.5 kilos more than his competition best as well. Again, he's probably going to push into maybe for a big PB on his third pull. Smooth there. Really good. Seeing a lot of guys tie in their second deadlifts here, which is really, really good to see. We've got John Bermudez here, 230 on the second deadlift. He's got a competition personal best of 237.5, so he might be leaning into 240 maybe if it goes well on this one for his third.
Maybe even more. Maybe sometimes you see those bigger jumps when it comes to your third. Sometimes height is able to drive a lot more kilos, you're able to pull a lot more when it comes to your thirds, just knowing it's your third. I think that looks good, and I think 240 is easily in the bag. Bar is loaded for Ovi. 235 kilograms as his second. A nice slow walk to the platform. Sometimes it's very good to take your time when you're on the platform. There's no need to rush. You have 60 seconds.
Super composed for a guy who's just 1 year out of juniors, you know.
Yeah.
Conventional as well, it's always good to see. Smoothly locks it out there.
Yeah. Lockout definitely took a while, but he got it. He got it there at the end.
That actually equaled Ovi's personal best. So, you know, maybe he's chipping for a 2.5 or a 5 kilo jump on the next one. Or maybe he just elects to absolutely send it and see what happens.
I think with sending it is always fun, but you kind of want to come out of your comp ready to go again. Sending it usually kind of puts you at a disadvantage, especially when you don't need to send it. Sometimes it's best to play it reserved and kind of come out of comp ready to go again for your next. Very easy. Very easy.
A 2.5 kilo competition PB there, moving like that for Adam is exceptional.
Yeah.
Really, really good stuff.
$235 from Matthew.
So Matthew jumped 10 kilos from his opener here.
Yeah, I believe so.
That wasn't the fastest, but you made a good comment saying that some people just move things more slowly. They're more, you know, consistent or methodical with the way that they move the bar instead of these really, really high bar speeds. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I've also been informed by Seb's coach that he definitely isn't going down a weight class, and that is hearsay. So Scott, if you're still listening, thanks for sending me that message.
Hearsay amongst the lifters. Oh, no, I guess his second was just too hard for him. Maybe he is suffering some form of injury. Maybe the rear belt tactic doesn't work as well as he wants it to. Who knows?
A little way off his competition best for sure. We've got 262.5 here, so maybe he's coming in with a little bit of an injury, or maybe it's just not much of a great day. That happens sometimes. So Sam here with a 20 kilo jump from his opener.
Yeah,
Definitely
very
trying to get in
interesting
amongst
see
it with this total here, really to challenge some of those other guys in the other group. Carrying a lot of muscle tissue here in the 74s.
I don't think the 20 kilo call was right, but the unfortunate thing is with this, when you fail after such a heavy jump, you can't go down. His third will have to be 260 again, and he has to make it move if he wants at least a chance to at least come fourth and fifth. Podium for him is quite far now. He was definitely closer to it before, and now it's looking much tougher, but now it's more about fourth, fifth.
We're going to have a little look at the score sheet in a second here, but we should start to get a really, really good idea of where these guys are going to place roughly, and whether or not they're capable of making their thirds or not, and see if any of these guys are going to end up amongst it, those top spots for the total.
Kieran coming for his third.
So just a quick look here at the current score sheet. So Sam does lock in that third deadlift, which there's currently an error on the score sheet. He's definitely going to be in amongst it. Kieran here with his third pull. Again, 500 pounds, breaking that big mental barrier for some folks. He's working with it.
Yes,
Throw it off the floor.
Yeah, come on. Nice. Able to
that.
hold on to the bar. That is very
Nice.
important.
Huge milestone there, Kieran.
Congrats. George coming with 230 kilos.
Just another quick look at the score sheet here. So Sam definitely could still be in amongst it for sure. If he makes his third deadlift, he could be. He could be in amongst it. I mean, he's not going to challenge for the top spot, but he could be in and around there, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if people aren't paying attention to him.
Funny thing now is that George and Kieran kind of did super training together, and now they're here at seniors together as well. Quite a companionship between these two lifters. Always nice to have friends with you on the platform.
George sets up. Nice. Fantastic bit of camera work there from the White Lights Media boys. Gotta give them that. I'm watching a flipping movie. So Matthew coming out again, repeating his second. Really hope he locks this one in here. The platform crew will also brush the bar down in between every attempt on this third round, which is different from the others. Now, you can actually ask the platform crew to brush the bar if you need to, or if there's like, you know, somebody coming out with loads of talcum powder, or maybe their talcum powdery legs are going where you like to grip the bar. That can happen sometimes. So you might want to ask them to brush it down. But on the third one, they brush it down between every single attempt.
Yeah, I would definitely not advise people to deadlift with talc on their hands, at least. Pretty sure he's changed up his stance.
Yeah, so he's going conventional here.
He's going conventional for his last. I know someone else that's done quite something similar.
Unfortunately, just not today.
Get it. Quite a few stance changes there. I think that definitely highlights some form of inconsistency in his training, maybe, or maybe some confidence issues with the weight, maybe even, like you said, an injury.
It's definitely possible when we see, you know, a lifter's performance drop off so much. I mean, especially with deadlift. You know, sometimes a guy's gone down a weight class, maybe they can't squat bench what they used to.
Yeah.
Most of the time, deadlift it tends to stay pretty consistent. All right, John here. He's going to be locking in a really, really good day if he gets this one here. 2.5 kilo competition PB.
Yeah, let's get that 9 for 9, John.
9 for 9, John. Let's see it. Takes his time setting up.
Yeah.
Very
No need to
methodical
rush.
lifter.
Yeah. That is unfortunate, but I think he's had a good day regardless. Looks like his pec might have cramped there. I think those ones are the worst when you're deadlifting. A pec cramp or a hamstring cramp. You just don't really expect it. You expect things like loss of strength, you know, maybe a bit of fatigue, but cramping is the worst feeling when it comes to lifting. And you hate yourself for that mistake, because it can be fixed just by drinking water, staying hydrated.
Sometimes with these guys, you know, often especially in some of these lighter weight classes, they often cut quite a bit of weight, and sometimes they're sort of struggling the whole day to really rehydrate, or maybe really suffering with cramp.
Yeah. You have Ovi now. His final deadlift.
See him lock it in.
Yeah. Final lift of the day. Very strong performance from this lifter.
This will be a 10 kilo competition PB for Ovi. He's working with it.
Yeah.
Just couldn't quite clear the knees there.
Yeah.
Man, that's tough.
Kind of quite see this often when it comes to third deadlifts. It is a really make or break day, but you know, the day is over. You've got a nice total. You get to go. You've competed at a national level comp. That's something to take back with you. Oh, it's loaded for Adam, 245 kilograms.
This will be 12.5 kilos on his nominated competition PB here. So this is be super impressive if he manages to. But his last one moved very, very well. So we shall see.
Just taking his time with this setup.
His coach Joey there, giving him some words of encouragement. There it goes.
Wow, that looked better than his second.
Look at that.
That looked better than his second attempt.
Look at that big competition PB for Adam there.
That is a flex. Your third moving better than your second.
All right, so Sam taking again what he had on his second. Initially on the score sheet, they had that down incorrectly as a good lift. He didn't make it, so he's going to be out here repeating 260. Hopefully they can correct that on the score sheet over there. It looks like they're doing some work on the table.
Yeah.
And he's going to be out again for his 260 for his third.
Let's really hope this moves, because then they won't have to fix the mistake. That's one way of looking at it. And there's one way of looking at it that you have come out with a big total.
It looks like they're just kind of fixing things up on the score sheet here in the left. So this is not Kieran Drysdale. This is actually Sam Dew with 260 kilos on the bar. It's going to take his total to 675 on the day if he makes this.
Massive, massive total from the 74 kilo lifter. Quite worried there. He slapped his thighs, but there's no tap, so it's okay. Come on, stay with it.
There he is. He's working with it.
Just stay with it.
Wow, what a fight that was.
What did the referee say? Oh.
Downward
just
motion.
downward movement.
It looked like maybe when he straightened those legs out and really drove the quads into the ground that he, the bar kind of got a little bit out in front of him there. Maybe moved
Tends to
down
happen.
slightly.
Tends to happen. I think some talc would have definitely done him some justice there. Some talc would have probably saved him. But that is for another day. We are now moving on to Group C. Potentially a lot of podium placements in this group.
So unfortunately here it looks like Sam, as much as he's in amongst it right now, currently sat in third, based off of everyone making their opener in the next group. He's probably not going to be able to contest much, and most of these guys, if they're making second attempt deadlifts, are going to push him off those podium spots.
Yeah, not even podium, just the positions outside podium, such as 4th, 5th. Those are positions worth looking out for as well. Putting your name in there is just as important, but when you're unable to do that, it just becomes harder. Coming 4th at senior comp is still good. 5th, 6th, because that potentially means you move up one position next year and you're closer to podium. Sam Dew unfortunately does not get to have that form of luxury and drive in his next training anymore, you know? We have Kieran coming, 215 kilograms.
10 kilos off his competition best here. We've got some really big deadlifters in this flight upcoming.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very, very excited for this flight.
Moving how an opener should there.
Very easy conventional as
Nice
well.
and smooth. We've got Steve here. Steve's definitely been on the lifting scene for a long, long time, opening with 230 kilos. Currently 5 for 6, made 2 squats and 3 bench presses.
Thought he was going to go conventional there, and then he put his legs up, and I was like, oh, sumo. Very easy there.
Wow.
That was very, very easy. That was more of like a final kind of level lift.
Steve looking very, very strong today. The biggest thing that you notice with deadlifts is people often take different kind of attempt strategies. Some people like to open really light and maybe jump 20 kilos. Isn't unheard of, especially at these sort of numbers. You know, so often you'll see maybe even up to like a 10% jump with some of these guys, which is super impressive. You know, sometimes you even see 25 kilo jumps between their opener and their second. Hugo here working with it.
Looked like he had to put a lot of work in there for that opener. Did he miss it down as well?
He looked like he almost matched it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think he just about got away with it there, I won't lie.
But at least, you know, all these guys here today, fortunately, we haven't seen anyone bomb yet. So when they're locking in this first deadlift, hopefully see him lock in that deadlift and lock in a total for the day. This is 20 kilos off of Lee's best. His best pulls 260 in competition.
Wow.
And he moved it just like 260 was his best in competition deadlift. That's for sure. Definitely got some room there to continue to put some weight on the bar.
I think a 255 second attempt for him would make sense, and then 265 or 262 being his third, just to beat his comp PB. And if that doesn't work, he'll fall short and match it. Amari coming in now, 250 kilograms. He had done his qualifier at P10 Fitness. Qualified for seniors. Yeah, that was some real. If you blinked, if you're watching from home and you blinked, you might have missed it.
Smooth stuff there from Amari. Alright, so we're loading this up now for Krishan.
Yeah, 255 for Christian.
So he pulled 270 at Junior Nationals.
I think he's looking to maybe match that.
Alright, that'd be good to see.
Potentially. Maybe push it a little. kind of looked like that John Hack kind of setup right there.
Pulls through.
Very easy.
Look at that. Some speed on an overhead attempt
Very
there.
easy.
All right, who we got out next? We got Dylan out next.
Dylan. He's
So-
opening 5 kilos above his comp PB.
So we're getting the Dylan's getting the platform to clean the bar now. There's a little bit of history to this. Dylan didn't have the best year last year at Nationals and lost out on the last deadlift.
Yep.
You'll notice that Dylan has a really narrow grip on the bar, and when he pulls sumo, he doesn't actually really use the knurling too much. His hand's kind of half on the smooth, half on the knurling, or at least it was last time I saw him deadlift.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something to pay attention to. Now, where a lot of guys are getting kind of talc on their hands and that sort of thing, or rubbing it over their quads, that's exactly where Dylan likes to grip the bar. So you might not necessarily see a strength issue here, but more of a grip issue with Dylan, or at
I
least
think
that's what it looked like last year.
I think he'll be fine here. I think he knows this is an easy opener.
You see this very narrow grip here. Dylan looking very
Definitely
strong
didn't have
today.
to worry about any form of grip today.
So that beats Dylan's best deadlift from last year of 255.
Seb has also asked for the bar to be wiped down. Definitely, you do definitely want to keep these things in mind as a mental clarity coming out to the platform. You don't want to think of it as a last minute kind of thing. Oh no, there might be talc on the bar. Especially when you get to these heavier deadlifts towards the end. Potentially ruining your chance at podium. You want to take every step cautiously. Seb coming in at 262.5 kilos. That is a massive, massive opener for 74 kilo lifters.
Looks like he's having some fun with it out here. It's good. It's always good to see that sort of energy. He's going to pull hook grip here.
Yeah, that looked very nice.
Very smooth. Got a little bit wiggly there at lockout.
I think it's just getting used to the bar and like the platform kind of wiggling. Like the speed was there, the strength was there, just a bit of technical difficulties. Just as you come out to the platform for your first, it can be quite daunting, especially when there's podium on the line.
It'll be really, really interesting to see how this shapes up now on the score sheet and where the rest of the guys are.
Yep.
Bar's just going to get cleaned down, and we're going to have a fresh round here with Hugo coming out. All right, so Hugo's coming out here for his second deadlift.
We are now on
245 kilos on the bar. It's 5 kilos more than Hugo's best.
He held on this time. That's really good.
Good, much better. 3 white lights for
Very,
Hugo.
very good. Here we have the score sheet. So we definitely see.
So we've seen Christian and Dylan here bump up their totals or their forecast score, which you'll see in that yellow column on the right. There's Rob here, and he's going to be 5 kilos in front of his previous competition PB. It's opening really, really strong to see what he's got in for us here. Just taking his time now.
Yeah. Look very good. Very smooth. I think there was definitely a lot of effort from his end. And it can feel like that, but that's not always the case. Feeling and seeing how things move are very different.
All right, here comes Steve.
250 kilograms for Steve here. Very easy.
Oh, Steve's looking strong today.
Very, very good.
right, so as it stands right now, we've got Dylan in first place on total, with Krishan in second.
Yep.
And then we've kind of got Seb here and Amari
Yeah.
getting in amongst it. Obviously, Sam's 6:55 can't be changed.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see what
So
happens.
it's a battle between Amari and Seb for third. I think second is taken by Christian unless Seb puts something ridiculous on the bar. But now we have Lee here, 255 kilograms. Very, very easy. So lockout was a bit, kind of just got stuck, but it battled through it just fine.
We'll see. You know, the thing is with this last deadlift is people can move places a lot. You don't really want to get too keen. You don't want to get too excited about someone's placement until these seconds are out of the way, really.
Yeah. We now have Amari coming in 270 kilograms for his second bout. It's going to be very, very interesting to see.
All right, let's see this from Amari. This could really put the cat amongst the pigeons here. Makes it move.
Yeah, that moved really well. A bit shaky at the top, but
Alright.
he locks it out.
Three white lights for Amari. Okay.
So I think
he's in amongst it for sure.
He's in the middle of it now. Podium might just be a thing for him. Although I will say his second lockout was shaky, and you don't want that when you're battling for podium for your second.
Krishan here.
Pressure. Christian here, 270 kilograms.
So this is the match, his deadlift that he did at Junior Nationals not too
Yeah.
long ago. His opener moved very, very well. So it wouldn't surprise me if he made this look really, really good. But what is worth noting is Dylan still hasn't come out, and nor has Seb. So there are two deadlifts that are either the same or heavier than this in the second round here. He makes that move.
Wow. I think Christian here has the chance to put a dent from moving potentially to second to first, maybe depending on how Dylan's second goes. Is that Dylan coming up now? Are there changes being made? No. 272.5 kilos for Dylan.
So Christian has a fair bit of room to make up here. We'd have to out deadlift Dylan by 10, which would put him at kind of 282.5.
Yeah. Let's just see how Dylan holds out.
We'll see. Lots of big deadlifters now.
It's just where Dylan grips. That's the issue.
Make some noise for him, guys.
The crowd needs to get behind him. No one's getting behind him.
Come on, Dill, let's see it.
Setting up very, very nicely. Come on,
Let's go, girl.
you can hear everyone shouting. Dylan locks 272, but it didn't move as fast as Christian's. We might see Christian load on a lot more potentially here to try and beat Dylan, but Seb is someone who is at the bottom for deadlifts, which is always scary.
Dylan looks like he's got a lot left in him.
Yeah.
If he makes his third deadlift, he's going to be the man to beat. That's
Yes,
for sure.
For sure. It's just whether Christian and Seb will apply enough pressure mentally for Dylan to put way more, emotions behind his third that can either make or break the lift. We now have Seb, 275 kilograms. This is massive.
Here he comes. Looks a little bit more emotional than he did last time. Be interested to see what happens here.
I think he's dialing in. I think from when he walked down, when he got onto the platform, he's zoned in perfectly. Come on, Seb. Yeah.
All right.
Very good. Very, very good.
Three white lights.
Is the man to be worried about right now. 275 moving like butter. I think maybe he has a chance at 285, 290. I think that would be something we might see from Seb. And will Dylan and Christian contest that?
So just looking at the score sheet here,
So yeah, we're seeing Seb not put in his final deadlift, but Dylan going for 280. Amari outpulling Dylan. Potentially, we might see some changes towards when it comes towards Dylan. He might bump it up.
you've got to think
Seb is going
Dylan's
for
got it locked up here,
287.5.
or close to. If he makes that third deadlift, somebody's going to have to pull
Yeah.
300, close to 300 kilos to catch him.
I'm very interested if someone is willing to do that. Hugo here with his final, definitely a PB. Yeah.
Really big fight
Yeah.
there.
Very happy at the top there. I
right,
think
let's
he knows
see.
he got it. Yep, and no doubt.
3 white
very,
lights.
very happy.
What a fantastic day for
Yeah,
Hugo.
very, very good. That wraps up Hugo's day.
And we're seeing a lot of these totals that guys posted even just 6 months ago get absolutely obliterated here today.
Yeah.
Which is just so impressive.
We're looking at Rob's final deadlift as well. Come on, Rob, let's wrap it up. Let's end the day nice. I believe this is a PB for Rob.
Yep, Rob's competition PB was 240.
Damn.
So 12.5 kilos on that.
I think if he gets this, this is something to go home smiling for sure. I always love conventional pullers.
It's always good to see. Rob's working with it here.
Yeah. just
yeah.
got it up. Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
12.5
I think he
kilo
had a
competition
few
PB.
more kilos in the tank, and just knowing that is good for his next competition for sure. We might see this man pull something huge in the next comp.
All right, Steve Tyers.
260 kilograms on the bar. I think there's some final changes going on right now with Amari's deadlift. I can see his handler coming onto the platform, onto the table, sorry. And I think Amari now is pulling 285. I think Amari is going for podium.
He's trying to
He's
push himself into
battling.
third there with that one.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we've got Steve.
Steve Tyers here, 260 kilograms on the bar.
Lots of emotion. 250 moved fantastically well. So you've got to think that this is the right call.
A lot
Let's
of
just see
hype
if he
behind
can
him.
see if he can execute.
Setting up nicely.
So much energy in the place when the third deadlift comes
Yeah,
down.
I can see Lee Harris as well.
Working with it, yes. Go on, Steve. Good stuff.
As I said, I can see Lee Harris getting ready for a sturdy. He's shaking his
He
boots.
is fired up out there for sure. Probably going to see this guy sprint onto the platform now and rip it up. This will be a 5 kilo PB for Lee on his last competition deadlift. 265 being
There he
loaded
is.
now.
There he is on the stream now. We've been seeing him like this the moment Steve had walked onto the platform. He's getting all the energy he needs behind this final deadlift. A massive PB for Lee. Come on.
It's his first year as a senior as well. To be where he's placing is just exceptional. Let's hope he can execute.
He's
working with it here.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
just looked like he maybe lost balance, or
Just looked a tiny bit over the bar there.
Yeah.
Just got pulled forward.
definitely looks disappointed. But you know what? I think he had a good day regardless.
And a British bench record to go along with his total for today.
So we see
Definitely
Amari
nothing to-
drop 10 kilos now. We saw it go from 285, now it's 275?
Okay. So they're just probably loading what they think Amari has and
Yeah.
hoping that other people miss to maybe
Yeah,
let him
yeah.
jump up into those positions.
I see.
Or it's possible that him and his handler for today had a little conversation and maybe Amari just thought that was what he had and he didn't quite have the weight on the day to push into those positions.
I think this is still, regardless, a massive deadlift. from someone like Amari.
275. I mean, this was top end of last year's British Championships. And to see it probably going to happen. What, 5 guys left to lift in this flight, left to lift, and they're all.
Very strong performance from Amari today so far. Let's wrap it up very nicely with the stairs.
Breaking that 600-pound barrier as well.
Yes.
5 reds.
Love to see it. You got to stay with it, Amari. Come on. Yeah. Oh, just couldn't get it off the floor. And you know, these things happen.
It's a lot of weight.
It's
a whole lot of weight.
It's a whole lot of weight.
So we got 3 guys here, all pulling
So
280 or above.
So it looks like Dylan and Christian are matching with their final deads, and Seb is going for the 287. But is that enough? I thought Seb would be gunning for second, but based on how his second move, it makes sense. So just by looking at it, Dylan gets the gold, Christian gets the silver, and Seb settles for the bronze.
Julia and Amelia, they're looking after Dylan today, trying to make sure that his numbers are right and he's in the right headspace. Alright. Let's make some noise for Dylan now, guys.
He wants that noise. He wants the crowd behind him. There he is. Come on, Dylan.
Big emotional lifter. I see why people like him so much.
I love the energy this man brings to the platform.
Big 280 pull. Bit of a redemption meet here for Dylan. Let's see if he can lock this one in. Should be a 9 for 9 day for Dylan. He's moving it. He's moving it. He's moving it.
He locks it. Gets
Locked
it
in a
down.
9 for 9 day.
Referees. 3
Look at that.
Nice. Look at him jump. I didn't know he could jump that high.
Wow.
He
It's
is.
possibly, in the years that I've known Dylan, that's probably the best performance, competition powerlifting wise, that I think I've ever seen him put up.
For sure, I think.
He's going to be
He
very,
should be
very
very
hard
proud.
to catch now, and I
Yeah,
don't think Christian or Seb are trying to chase him. I think they're putting in what they can lift.
Yeah.
And if Christian ties this one up, that's the second place for him, most likely, unless Seb loads something crazy on the bar. So that's Dylan with a 710.5 total at 74 kilogram body weight. It's massive. That's, you know, getting close to 10 times body weight.
Yeah. You now have Christian here securing his second place here, I believe.
As long as Seb doesn't change anything, you know, it's possible that Seb could change up and do something absolutely massive.
Yeah.
But if Christian makes this, it's going to be very, very hard to catch in second here.
I think Christian makes this. This is only 10 kilos above. I think he's got this. Come on, Christian. He's more of a composed lifter.
Yeah, the energies could be much different between him and Dylan, huh?
Much more quiet.
He's working with it. There he is.
There you just lock it.
Nice. That's a 10 kilo
That is
competition
very, that was very good.
Big,
Just two
big
opposite
pull.
lifters, Dylan and Christian, you know. One all about the hype, the other nice, quiet and reserved. You just see these guys doing, you know, absolutely the most when it comes to deadlifts. Now we're coming at
Seb looking to tie up third here.
280,
Lock it in.
2.5. He's not going to try and contest Christian's position.
It's going to be a 7.5 kilo competition PB for Seb.
Yeah.
Really, really impressive, and we'll break we'll beat his competition total PB as well. So let's see it. His second move better than his first. He ironed out some of those issues that he had in the first round.
He's shaking out the nerves.
Let's see it, Seb. Last pull of the day. He's working with it here.
Yeah, just need to lock it.
Just not quite there
Just
for him,
not
unfortunately.
there today. But regardless of valiant effort today, I think he's definitely someone to watch out for in the 74s for sure. And I think that wraps up today. Let's pull out the score sheet. So yeah, Dylan Nelson coming first, second Christian, and third Seb.
I think Amari.
Amari third.
Amari got
Now
third
I
there.
did not expect Amari
Seb and then Sam Zhu.
because Seb missed his third. That is unfortunate. Seb just drops out of podium.
Big pull. Well,
That's us now.
we didn't see that, man. We didn't see that one coming. I have to be honest. I did not see Amari pulling into third position.
I definitely did not. That flew over my head. I expected Sebastian to be able to hold on and pull and lock his third. But, you know, that's just how it is. That's how competition plays out. I think all lifters today have put in a great effort. No one bombed, I'm pretty sure.
Nobody bombed.
Nobody bombed.
Out of the, actually, in any flight.
Yeah,
I think
in none of the flights,
everyone
even in the
posted a
morning
total today.
flights, everyone got a total, which was somewhat of a PB, and happy to go home.
And I think it's one thing that's always worth highlighting is lifting on a national level platform like this is hard.
Yeah,
you know, it's not easy. And to post a PB or any PB in any lift or a competition PR total, especially like on this type of stage, is really, really hard to do. So for sure, anyone showing up here and posting a total has done well in my eyes.
Exactly.
And to see the standard here, Dylan with 104 IPF points is exceptional, and Christian with 102. When the IPF points system was kind of first introduced, like 100 points was kind of that gold standard.
Yeah.
And to see so many people today going over 100 is just immensely impressive. We had 3 guys in the 83s earlier today, 2 in the 74s here. Just immense standards overall. And just what you have to do now to win a British Championships is it's crazy.
Yeah.
The standard is so high and it keeps improving every single year.
Every year I'm very, very interested to see what happens at the Men's Classic. Something is always broken. A record, or a personal best, podium places, they're being fought for. It's very, very fun to watch, very fun to get into, and I can't wait for tomorrow as well. Tomorrow we're going to see some battles.
So we've got some of the heavier guys lifting tomorrow. So we've got the 93s.
93s, 105s, 120s, and 120 pluses. It's going to be very interesting tomorrow. But today, I think, are they going to stream everyone getting their medals?
Yeah, I think they're planning to. So we've got the guys in the holding area now coming out.
I just saw
in the
Dylan
podium
and Christian
spots.
hugging it out with Seb. They were just
total for Sebastian for East Midlands. Third place, we have Amari Robinson. And second place, also from Greater London, is Christian Musgrave. And in first place, with a phenomenal second at 10.5 total, is Dylan. Tomorrow, we do it all again. As good as that. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.